Hey Transgender family, it's me, Amara Jones, with our weekly audience TalkBack. This is our weekend edition, even though it's really hard to figure out what actually is a weekend anymore for those of us fortunate enough to be able to work from home. The distinction between the weekend and weekday is kind of hard to suss it out, but here we are. And it's also the reason why I'm in my sweats. Actually, these days I'm also in my sweats all the time. I was this close to coming out in my robe, but I thought, let me come out with something socially responsible in these times, like an AVP sweatshirt or something. So that's that. Honestly, if you want to send me, like trans-related gear to wear from your organizations and stuff, I'll put it on, I'll wear it, because I'm at home a lot these days, actually all the time. What am I talking about? A lot. It's between my kitchen and my bathroom and my bedroom. My kitchen and my dining room table is now my office full time. So in any event, let me get out of my personal problems. This is about you all. We're still in the midst of the COVID crisis, quite clearly, and continued across all of our social media platforms. Everyone is highly focused on that. What's really interesting is that in certain places, like in Pennsylvania, the person who's in charge of the COVID response there is a trans woman, Dr. Rachel Levine, and they're continuing to roll out a whole host of mutual aid projects and initiatives, one aimed at Black trans people, but there's so many others that continue to roll out. All of those are on across all of our social media pages, which you all know about, so you can find out about that. So that's all of the good news on that front. It's also to remember that around the world and in so many places that COVID isn't dominating, that it is what has wreaked havoc in so many lives, but in so many ways, love and life continue. So this week there's a all trans masculine first ever all soccer team in India, which took to the field. There's an article that we posted about a whole host of trans YouTubers, people in relationships with other trans people, all trans relationships that are showcasing different models for how we can love and be with each other. And that's really good news. Maybe I can look at those and learn some lessons at this particular moment, which I will definitely do. And trans people who continue to fight for their lives in ways that are not related to COVID, such as a trans woman in Egypt and the trans community in Egypt, which is coming under a lot of pressure, which also received a lot of comment across our social media pages. But I think it's just really important for us to remember that we are in these really difficult times. I don't know about you, but it takes me twice as long to do stuff that as before. My concentration isn't there. And I really struggled with that in the beginning, and then just realized that that's the time that we're in, and it's okay for things to take twice as long, and it's okay for me not to be, quote, productive. That where I am in New York City, nearly 1,000 people a day right now are dying from this disease. And if I'm impacted by that, if I'm affected by that, then that just means that I am human. And so that means that you're human too if you are also having similar feelings. And because this is the weekend edition, and because I feel like I need a break from the world after I'm done recording this, I'm going to go get in my bed and stay there all day this weekend, one of the days this weekend on Saturday, because I really feel the need to just kind of sit in the moment without thinking about what comes next, what do I need to do, how do I need to respond. I just need to honor where we are and what's happening. So feel free to take the time to do that. Also feel free to send me different type of swag. You got a trans organization, you got a queer organization, or you got something cute, you can send it to me and I'll wear it and I will give you a shout out. Shout out to AVP. They were on our Lives at Stake first program that we did with WNYC a couple weeks ago on March 31st, Trans Day of Visibility, and spoke about the response to the uptick in domestic violence in our community. So if you are experiencing that, please go to the AVP website and they will be able to connect you not only to resources in New York, but resources in other places across the country to be able to handle that. Our next Lives at Stake will be on April 23rd, where we will talk about the intersection of COVID-19 with sex work and how it is impacting sex workers in our community and how it might point to the need for decriminalization or even legalization of the sex trade so that people can be brought into society with respect to the social safety net when we enter into times like this. So stay tuned for that. Rest, take care of yourselves, love yourselves, be gentle, realize we are in unprecedented times, and to do whatever you need to do to get through. For me, that means climbing in the bed and pulling a blanket over my head. Have a great weekend.